Hello everyone. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are super good. I hope you guys are great. I just wanted to come into your space once again today and just relate my thoughts to you. It's very funny because this video was inspired by a conversation I had yesterday with someone. So what normally happens is whenever I engage with people about a particular conversation or a particular topic or discussion, they always say to me, Charles, when you are not safe, because no one ever knows if whatever that we're talking about, you're gonna take it and put it up as content on social media. So we just never know if we should be free to talk to you or not, because you might take what we say and put it up on social media. And I thought that was very funny. But how else am I going to get my content? Except if I engage with people and hear what they say and how they think, their perspective on different things, and take that and contrast it with something else. That's how I get my content. I mean, there are so many different ways to get content, right? Sometimes I get it through meditation, like when I sit in my meditation and I meditate, and I get content as well. You just get content that is downloaded into my brain, and I get to share that. Sometimes it's through reading, sometimes it's through listening, maybe to radio or just observing something. That's how I get my content, right? This video was inspired by a conversation that I had with a friend of mine yesterday, and so I wanted to share my thoughts with you today about arrogance, right? We're talking about arrogance, and how the conversation came about was because my friend was talking about a particular person, and he was saying that this person, is so arrogant, and he never used to be like that, but now that he has money and all of these things, he's very arrogant. He talks down on people, he mistreats people, he disrespects people, he looks down on people. So he felt that this guy is arrogant. And I said, well, perhaps he is arrogant. But then I asked him a question. I said, but how do you know that you yourself are not arrogant? How do you know that? And he's like, well, I'm not arrogant. I mean, it's not like I have money, so I'm not arrogant. So it sounded as though he was saying that the only people that are arrogant are people who have money, people who have some kind of material possession. They are the only ones that have the potential to be arrogant. And so I just elaborated on that word arrogance and how it can affect everyone. Every single one of us can be affected by that, because he was looking at the word arrogance from a linear perspective, right? And I think arrogance is very multidimensional. Like, you can look at it at so many levels, right? And that's what I want to share with you today. How arrogance can actually affect your life, in such a way that you won't see yourself progressing in life simply because you're an arrogant person. So before you cast a stone, check yourself first. You might find that you are arrogant, but you are not aware of it because you are thinking of arrogance from a singular perspective. So now I want to stretch it a bit more so that you can try and see if you perhaps fit in one of those categories of arrogance, right? So in my understanding, arrogance comes in many different shapes and forms, right? And there's arrogance that is possession oriented. There's arrogance that is possession oriented. By that I mean, there are people who are arrogant because they have certain possessions in their lives. They've got money, they've got cars, they wear nice clothes, they do all kinds of things because they have money, right? And so they display a certain type of arrogance that demeans other people, that belittles other people, and tries to make other people feel small because you have money and all these possessions, right? So that is arrogance that is possession oriented. There's another type of arrogance that is position oriented. Position oriented. And this is the type of arrogance that because you occupy a certain position, maybe at work or in business, then you feel that you are more important than people that are below you, right? Maybe you're a manager or a supervisor, and because of that, then you don't really think much of people that are below you, right? You can't even listen to them because you think because you occupy a particular position, then that makes you better than those people. So even whatever that they want to say to you, whatever ideas they may have, whatever advice they may have, you don't want to listen to them simply because you feel like because you are in a particular position, then they cannot tell you anything. They can't teach you anything, right? Because you're a CEO, you managing director, you don't want to listen to your managers, people that are in positions that are below you. You feel superior, right? So that is arrogance, which is position oriented. There's another type of arrogance, which is identity oriented, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you post something on social media and people don't really react to it? They don't comment, they don't like, they don't do anything. They don't even share it, right? And then someone influential, someone popular posts something similar to what you posted. And those people then share that on their social media. Something which is similar to what you posted, but they didn't share it, they didn't react to it, they didn't like or comment, nothing like that. But when someone popular, when someone of a higher standard and status in life posts it, they share it, they react, they comment, they like it. Why? Because they look at your identity, they look at who you are. They don't necessarily look at what you are saying, they look at who is saying what. So even if you can write something of quality, something good, they'll just look at it and say nothing. Simply because who said it? So it's about identity. It's about your status in life, right? So there's the type of arrogance that is identity oriented. So you look at someone and say, who does he think he is? So you don't want to learn anything from that person simply because it's just your regular Joe. It's just someone down the road. It's a common average person. So you don't want to learn anything from them simply because of who they are, their identity, their status in life. But if it was someone else, then you take them seriously and you think that they are wise. I'm not wise because I'm not popular. I'm just a regular guy, right? But because of it, the same thing that I said was spoken by someone popular, perhaps someone that you like, then you say, okay, then you listen to that person, right? That's arrogance, which is identity oriented. There's another type of arrogance, which is excuses oriented. Excuse oriented. This is the type of arrogance that every time you want to show someone something that they are doing wrong, they always try to make excuses and explain. They don't want to listen to you. So they always come up with excuses. They don't want to take responsibility of their actions. So they always want to explain. They always want to reason. That's arrogance because it means that you're not willing to listen to what I have to say so that I can help you. It's a form of arrogance. It's a type of arrogance that some of us experience. So you're not going to listen to what I have to say. Even if I wanted to help you, you're not going to listen to me. So you make excuses. So that is an arrogance that is excuse oriented. There's another type of arrogance which is race oriented, right? It's race oriented. Because I'm this race and I think I'm better than that race, that is arrogance. It means that you're not going to listen to what that other person from that race is going to say to you. You're not going to listen to them. They're not going to teach you anything. You don't want to learn anything from them simply because you think you are superior and they are inferior. So you're not going to listen to them. It's a form of arrogance. And that's why I'm saying that arrogance is one of the reasons why we don't move forward in life, because an arrogant person is not teachable. You can't teach that person. And if you can't be taught, it means that you don't have knowledge that can help improve your life. And to improve your life, you need knowledge. And then that's why they say knowledge is power. When you have knowledge, you are able to take that knowledge and implement it in your life so that you can improve your life. But if you're an arrogant person, you are not going to be taught anything. Hence, I'm saying that arrogance is one of the reasons why people don't progress, because they are not teachable, right? So if you think that your race is better than the other, then it means that you are an arrogant person. You can't be taught by another race because you think you are better than them. So race-oriented arrogance is very problematic as well. And there's another type of arrogance, is gender-oriented. Because you are a man, you think you're better than a woman, and a woman can't teach you anything. That's arrogance. There's men who find it very difficult to submit to women in workspaces. They can't submit to a woman. They become very rebellious simply because it's a woman. They feel like they can't be taught anything by a woman. That is arrogance, right? I have women that have come onto my show on heart-to-heart conversations, and a few number of them, I've asked them this question: have you had problems? Some of them are business women, some of them are life coaches. So I asked them, do you you encounter situations where you don't have men that come consult from you? Do you have that situation because men undermine you as a woman, that you can't teach them anything? And that's what happens. There's men in different sectors, and men, it's hardly that you find a man that can decide that. Okay. So it's hardly that you find a man that can be able to consult with a woman and say, hey, I need your services, I need you to coach me, I need you to do this and that, or whatever. It's very rare to find something like that. Because why? There are men that feel very arrogant and feel like they can't be taught anything by women. That's a form of arrogance. It's gender-oriented, right? And there's another form of arrogance, which is age-oriented. Age-oriented. It's one of the biggest, form of arrogance that I see on a daily basis, where older people feel like they can't learn anything from young people. Right? Parents feel like their children cannot teach them anything. Aunts and uncles feel like young people can't teach them anything. Right? It happens a lot where elderlies feel like young people have nothing to teach them. So, in other words, you say to yourself, this is a young person who has no experience whatsoever, so what are they going to teach me? So you close yourself up from learning. So you're not a teachable person simply because of your arrogance. Your arrogance has become a stumbling block to your learning experience. How then are you going to grow from that? How are you going to grow? Because you are such an arrogant person. There is an arrogance that is nationality oriented. There are people who feel like simply because they come from certain countries, they are better than others who are from certain countries, right? Simply because you feel like your country is a powerful country, a developed country, you can't learn anything from people that come from developing countries, right? I'm from South Africa, and I feel like I can't learn anything from someone that lives in Uganda, because I feel like South Africa is a much better country than Uganda. So if I meet someone and they tell me they're from Uganda, I don't want to hear anything from them. Because why? I think that because I'm from South Africa, I'm better than that person. That's arrogance. It's arrogance that is nationality oriented, right? And so this is the kind of conversation I was having with that person, with my friend, to try and expand his thinking, for him to look at this this word arrogance from a different perspective, for him to not just think that arrogance is only practiced by people who have money and all these material possessions. No, it's such a broad word. And as I expanded it to him, then he realized that wow, it means a lot of us are actually guilty of this practice of arrogance, as I elaborated more on that word arrogance. So are you an arrogant person? Based on all those definitions, on those categories that I've just explained to you, where do you find yourself? Are you in one or more of those categories? Are you an arrogant person? You need to search yourself, look at yourself based on those categories. You're the only one that can look into yourself and ask yourself, am I really an arrogant person? I don't know. You be the judge of yourself, right? They say, don't look at the speck in your brother's eye before taking out the speck in your own eye. So look at yourself first before you're going to call other people arrogant. You may find that you are also guilty of the same thing, the very same thing, and you were not even aware of it because your understanding of arrogance was just from a linear perspective. It was just one way. But now that I've elaborated more on it and stretched it a bit more, where do you find yourself? Are you an arrogant person? Because arrogance is one of the reasons why people are not able to learn. They are not teachable. And if you are not teachable, it means you have no knowledge. You can't get knowledge. You cannot have a learning experience that you can be able to use to make changes in your own life, because you need information. You need knowledge for you to be able to make changes in your life. What I'm giving you now is knowledge, is information. So are you going to listen to me and take this knowledge and use it? Or are you going to say, this is Charles, he's just a guy I know from next door. He's my homeboy, man. What can he teach me? That's arrogance, right? And I have to admit that I've also been guilty of that at some point in my life. I've been guilty of that, really. Because you look at someone that says something and you be like, But when someone very prominent, someone very important, when they say the same thing, then I feel like, wow, this guy is saying some really powerful stuff. But it wasn't powerful when it was said by nobody, right? It's a form of arrogance that most of us are guilty of, and we need to change. We need to change from that attitude. It's an attitude of arrogance that is not going to help you or me in any way. So look at yourself and ask yourself, am I an arrogant person based on all those categories that I have explained to you? Are you an arrogant person? Because if you are an arrogant person, it means you, my friend, are not teachable. And you will not have any learning experience, you won't have any knowledge, you will have nothing to use that can help you improve your life so that you can see your life moving forward. Arrogance is one of the biggest problems that we have as people that hinders our progress, that impedes us, that stops us from moving forward in life because we are not willing to learn because of arrogance. So ask yourself today, are you an arrogant person?